Ooh, oh my, really? Interesting. Not sure if you're aware of it, but QuickBooks released their first look into the world of MTD for ITSA. So if you're going to be caught by this very crazy and strange new world, then this video is definitely going to be a must watch. Stay tuned.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, and also head of accounts here at Boffix. Now, MTD, or Making Tax Digital ITSA, which basically means that the whole way that we look into the world of preparing your tax return is going to be drastically changed. Now, I've done a lot of videos on this topic and we'll put some links here, there and everywhere about exactly what MTD means, but really this video is about our first look in how software is going to be used to be able to make sure that we can deliver an MTD compliant tax return. Now, it's going to be interesting because the first person to come to light to actually give us that opportunity was, of course, QuickBooks Online. So we're going to have a look at it. We're going to see for ourselves exactly what the first implementations of it's going to look like. Now, this may not be how it finishes. We may find out that actually it looks completely different to this in the final version, but having that insight, having that opportunity to look at it is going to be really, really important. And actually gives us an opportunity to start thinking about what the problems could be there, what issues we could have, and everything that goes with it. So let's not delay any further. Let's get straight into it and let's find out exactly what MTD for ITSA is going to be all about. All right then, so as you can see on here, I've basically recorded the live. How to get this footage? Well, QuickBooks held an event called Get Connected. Now, over on a podcast I was really grateful to be involved with from Accountancy Web, No Accounting for Taste. I told everyone my actual thoughts of the actual conference itself, how it went, everything else. So again, I'll put a link down to it. Please go and give them a listen. What a podcast. It's such an honor to be involved in them. But also over on our podcast, so QuickBooks Labs, me and Ash are going to dissect it a little bit more, understand exactly what we felt of it and give you some more insight. So if you want some induction or you want some information about the actual conference itself, do stay tuned to this channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz to get involved. But this was taken directly from one of the virtual conferences itself. This was titled The First Look at MTD ITSA. So let's have a look. So just kind of recap then. The guy in your top right hand corner over here, his name is Tom Menzies. He is a product manager. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to record the voice from here. I'm going to do a bit of a voiceover that goes through. So as you can see, we start off with the agenda. We're going to look at induction, timelines, product demo, and the future, and Q&A. And the most important thing, I think, is this product demo just here. So let's get ourselves right over to that bit. All right, product demo. So first of all, as you can see from the eagle-eyed view, there is VAT, income tax, and payroll tax at the top, which makes us know that this is going to live in our taxes section on the left-hand side. Now, we'll go to taxes, we'll jump to VAT, I assume, automatically, but then we'll move over to income tax, and this is the page we want to go to see. Some great things that I like to see straight away is this traffic system here. This traffic light system there is telling me that there's an error here, we've not submitted this quarter. There's something here that's not due yet, and we haven't submitted that, but this one's in progress. So straight away we can see that from aesthetically, from a point of view, very sleek. We can see all those quarters that we're going to have to work with just here. And interestingly, the 6th of April to the 5th of July is there. So my whole prediction, or hope, should I say, that we're going to lose those 6th of April to 5th of April dates, and we're going to go to a more 31st of March or even 31st of December. Year end hasn't seemed to come into fruition from this take here. But what we can see though is we can see that we're going through each of the quarters. We can see our business income, our business expense, and our net profit or loss for that particular income period, should I say. And we can use this review button just here. Nice to see that they're bringing the estimated amount for tax up at the top there so everyone can see it, and a breakdown of where that's from. All right, let's carry on with the demo then. So as I go a little bit further, there's a sneak peek here of the fourth quarter update. So you can see now there's a grey bar. So this traffic light system is giving us indication straight away that we may have some issues. Now, one slight point that hopefully they pick up on, this breaks me. So we've got a comma here for the 1,000. We've not got a comma there, and we've not got a comma there. Now, this is very minor, small bugs. Remember, this is very, very early on in thing. I pretty much guaranteed that when it comes to market, that will be fixed. But please, if you are listening QuickBooks, that's a personal pet peeve of mine. All right, but straight away though, we've got all 4 quarters showing here. We've got the ability to be able to see exactly what's going on from this one page, and we can see that this one is already due, so it's already late. Now, one thing they said in the future update that they're looking to implement is they would want to be able to give you an indication of what the penalty would be for not not submitting that particular return. So I think that's going to be quite crucial, the fact that they're already starting to think about, well, what's the consequences of not getting this right? And the fact that you'll see, you know, an estimate of what those penalties could be directly from the screen, I think that's a great incentive to make sure you are compliant and are filing them on time. So as we move on, we're going to go and get ourselves into that first quarter. So this is the one that was due already, so this is already late. And this is the view we're going to see. So top left-hand corner, got business income. You'll see that split down nicely for you. Business expense is the one we're on at the moment. And you can see we've got how many transactions, which I think is going to be really useful, the category, and when it was last updated. So that's going to be a really useful view just from here itself. Now, one of the things that we asked it later down the line how this is going to happen is where are these categories from? Well, you think about it in your chart of accounts and you go to your details, well, you pick what type of account, then you go to that detail of a chart of account, and that detail will basically be what's going here. They said there'll be some option for us to be able to see how that mapping goes later down the line. If not, I'm sure we'll be able to produce one as well. Well, that's going to be really useful. That's going to give us the opportunity to see the business expense there, net profit and loss, and there's a nice big submit update to HMRC in the top right hand corner. So as you can see, you get the chance to review this. Clicking into them will do a deep dive into them for you so you can see what each one is. And just like every other part of QuickBooks, you click on that transaction there, you're going to go straight to that breadcrumb trail, and you're going to be able to actually see that transaction itself, attachments and all. We can then go in and make adjustments as well if you need to. We can then carry on going forward. You press submit. It will say thank you very much. And there is your submission. And that's when it updates how much is owed. So that's interesting. So the estimated amount owed at the top there is only based on the submitted, at least for now, at least this early stage, is based on the submitted amount. So you're going to have to be careful of that one, because we're going to have to make sure that you only account for that tax there once those quarters have been submitted. It's not telling you on the fly what it believes the estimate's going to be, but you know, fingers crossed they'll find a way to be able to give you that information as well. So you've had that submission that's just been done there. That looks great. Now, one of the things I did find out which really, really impressive is they're going to show us that how that 182544 has been made up. And we're going to use this estimate breakdown here. It's going to be very similar to what we've got currently with the QuickBooks self-assessment estimate as it is now, and it's basically telling you the same information, what that basic rate is and what the national insurance. Now, do be aware though, this is only going to be based on this one income stream. So we've got to be careful of this. We're going to make sure that we understand the knock-on effects, how that's going to work. That's one part of MTD we're not 100% sure of. You know, how is a personal allowance is going to be pushed out there? You know, that's one thing we're not sure about MTD yet. How clever it's going to be. Does it know where your personal allowance is going to be? Does it apply it to a certain income stream if you've got multiple income streams? They're the sort of things we need to play around with and kind of guesstimate and really get to the details of. But as you can see here though, we've seen that breakdown. It looks really good. And what I believe he's going to do now is going to fast forward to all of them being submitted. And this is looking at the end of year stuff from now. So that fourth quarter still submitting. Okay, so fast forward to all of them have been submitted, but this is a clever bit. I really like this. So we've got the new updated tax figure at the top and showing you how that's been broken down. Again, we're not knowing exactly how your personal allowance has been utilised, but in this case, it's just being marked as red there. And this, I think, is a real key. This is where that traffic light system is really going to come into play, because what's happened here is we've submitted all 4 quarters and we're ready and waiting to file our end of year return, or end of year update. And what we've got now is the fact that we've got this exclamation mark here, and that's because changes are made. And what that means is QuickBooks has realised you made an update to that quarter. You know, you've posted something, or you found another transaction, or you've realised a transaction is wrong, and now you've got the opportunity to make the changes there and update as accordingly. And what that means is that we can go in and we can see what the problems are. And the key things to remember is you can't submit your end of year return before all of those quarters are up to date. You see, we've got that yellow traffic light system there, that indication there's a problem. Well, as we go down to press submit, it's going to tell you what's going through, but you can't press that submit information. And that's because you've got that error. You've got an error issue there. Now, I think this page is really important to us, because here we can see some adjustments that have been created. There's a plus button there to bring them in. Here's some losses that have been utilised and a plus button there to include them. And really crucially is a capital allowance figure there that we can bring in. Now, it looks like very much that these are all manual adjustments that we're making at this point in time. But it's interesting to see how that's implemented. And I imagine that's kind of one of the next evolutions of where this software is going, where this submission is going to go. Because I've got a feeling there'll be a much more slicker way of doing this that may probably arrive for launch, but at least at some point later down the line. So let's press play and have a look. So as you can see, can't submit this at the moment because it's grayed out, because we've got this problem. So let's go and resubmit that one. And the interesting thing is you can resubmit at any point. As soon as you found an issue, you just go in, you resubmit that quarter. That will then give you the power to submit information to HMRC and get that final bit through. Really, really good that. Then he goes on to talk about how, you know, this is just a part of the thing. And that, what I do like actually is they've started to go on this multi-device element as well. So they're really starting to push in. Bank feeds we already know about. Receipt capture is a great tool. Invoicing we've used all the time. Mileage tracker is still, there's still some bugs in there, but it is a great solution. But they really push in this multi-device, which I'm glad to see as well. I think that's going to be a key part of QuickBooks going forward. Now, question time. So let me talk about what questions you can see here of me putting the questions in there. But let's talk about what questions I asked and what answers I got back from them. So the first question I asked was, what about self-employed, QuickBooks Self-Employed? Bit of a candid response to that one. And I've got a feeling that there's definitely something happening in the world of QuickBooks Self-Employed. I know in a perfect world, they've always wanted to kind of bring QuickBooks Self-Employed as part of the full ecosystem. It's just a tier, not its own app. And I think MTD might be the nail in the coffin for QuickBooks Self-Employed. That's my own personal opinion. Let's see how that goes. But if they can try and bring that all under the same plan and make panel, maybe give you the same aesthetic, everyone's going to be a winner. So let's see how, on that one. But he did say that it was definitely an opportunity to bring that in. So we'll see how that goes. I asked if they are planning on bringing in, just like they got the VAT error checker. One, I love the VAT error checker, but just like we got that for submitting VAT returns, have they got any plans to bring that in for MTD ITSA? I got a very cheeky kind of watch this space, basically. So I think that's hopefully that's an indication that that is their intention of doing that. And I'm really hoping that we get to see that, because that would be so powerful. And obviously they understand as much as anyone that getting that data right is going to be really important. So the more checks we can put in place, I think this is going to be a wonderful way of doing things. And my final question that I asked them was, how do they plan on dealing with disallowable expenses? And they haven't quite got a solution for that yet. That is something they're definitely looking to work with, definitely looking to implement. The moment the answer was we could put it to drawings, which isn't really the answer we need. You know, they're showing their capital allowances, but what about if depreciation's involved? You know, we can't just put depreciation to drawings. That's not going to work for us. So yeah, so they haven't quite got a solution for that yet for us. but it's definitely something they're looking at. So interesting. I think that was the question, all the questions I asked. Let's just scroll through. See the questions I had. Thankfully, I've got me actually writing the questions off, which is quite useful. Oh, and then the final question I did ask was, any plans for mobile app submissions? Now, from memory, I don't think they got round to this question, which is a shame. So that's one I'm still going to go out there and try and find an answer for. I think my personal feeling is this will be something that will come later down the line. I can't imagine they'll ever bring this in, day out of the original thing. Maybe the delay might help us a little bit in that, but I think that's going to be quite useful for a lot of people. Obviously, we wouldn't use it as accountants and business advisors, but I think for the end user, that could be really, really critical. So what do you think? That is MTD ITSA first look. The first time we've seen how this is going to work. Yeah, it's definitely lived up to my expectations. I think the way that QuickBooks are looking to implement it is a very good way of looking at it. I think the whole traffic light system is going to be brilliant and definitely something that I think is going to help matters going forward. And I just feel a little bit more confident now I've seen it in terms of how we can start planning to help our clients and get everything all sorted for them. And for you guys, it means that we can start thinking about other content so that you guys can feel supported in submitting your first MTD return. Exciting times, very exciting times. If you want more reactions to the MTD thing, then please do come to our podcast. So we have QuickBooks Labs first Wednesday of every month, and the next one that we have planned, it might already be out if you're watching this later down the line, but we do have a video very much dedicated to what we've just looked at there. Going in more detail, let's talk about it, let's understand it a little bit more, let's raise those questions as well. As always, my name has been Aaron Patrick. Please do remember to like, subscribe, share this video out to your friends, do whatever you can do to help the channel grow. That would be muchly appreciated, because as you always know, my name has been Aaron Patrick. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and I'm sure I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. Oh, the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, 'cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah. You know I want him nah. My heart is saying yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called Apple Core Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chat, Boffix Tax Tip. Finally, we have Apple Core Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well. MTD for ITSA is going to be all about. Stay tuned. Why say stay tuned? You're already tuned. How about let's go? No, can't. That's stealing someone else's. Let's do this. Bit passive aggressive, but that'll do. Right, okay, let's go.